Everybody, hello. A few housekeeping items before we get started. I want to point out that we are going to record this um, beautiful time together in just a few moments. We're going to hit the record button. At the same time, we're going to mute everybody. Um, but if you'd like to say a few words a little bit later, you can just unmute yourself by hitting the button on the bottom left. And then during the program, we would recommend that you click on the top right where it says speaker view on your Zoom screen so that you can clearly see. But if you want to be in the gallery view and be able to see all your friends and family throughout, you do have that option. So if we can start recording now. I want to welcome everyone this morning. My name is Reagan Weil, and I'm the Executive Director of the Southwest Region of Jewish National Fund. I'm based in Austin. It's a true honor to be with you all this morning, to honor two families who together are increasing the quality of life of some very special people in Israel. And I know that we're joined by members of the Lipsitz and Hersh families from really across the globe today. I know in Austin here, Carol, Ariel, and Max and Michal are here. In Dallas, I believe Rebecca, Debbie, and Ed are joining us. In Waco, Melvin and Linda, Florence and Judy. Houston, I think we've got Lynn and David and Jessica, along with Ruthie, Tilly, and Izzy. Link is in New York joining us. I believe Ben and Paul are here from Miami. I'm not sure if we've got Lex and Natalia from Nashville. And all the way in Israel, I know we have Marla and Maurice. And Ellen, I am not sure where you're calling in from, but very glad that you're here. On the JNF side, I believe my colleague Ellie Adelman is here. She's the director for JNF in Dallas, who many of you know. Yossi Kahana is calling in from New York. He is executive director of Major Donor Advancement, and he facilitates all of our work for people with different abilities. I want to thank my colleagues Alana Schwartz and Dan Reback, who are orchestrating this from California behind the scenes, and Lieutenant Colonel Taran Atia, and Russell will introduce you in just a moment. It's beautiful that we have so many people on this call, and I know that some have some planned remarks to share, but I want everybody to know that if you weren't planning on saying anything today, but you get inspired in the moment, you'll have an opportunity towards the end of the program. Florence, 5 years ago, I sat in your kitchen visiting with Dr. Hersh about Jewish National Fund and philanthropy in general. And you so kindly fed us bagels and lox and other treats. That was a meeting I will never forget. In 90 minutes, I learned more about Israel from Dr. Hersh than in 6 months at Tel Aviv University, and more about philanthropy than my entire graduate school course. I have several pages of notes from that meeting, but there's one note above all that has stayed with me throughout my career at JNF. Dr. Hersh told me to always remember that Israel is not a nation of 9 million Jews. It's a nation of 20 million Jews, 9 million of whom live within its borders. When Ariel was working in the office with us, there was a plaque on her wall honoring Dr. Hersh for his many years of volunteer service to JNF. I asked her if I could keep that plaque, and it is displayed now in our Austin office as a reminder of the passion and the vigor with which we want to build Israel every day. Speaking of passion, there isn't anyone alive more passionate about building the country of Israel than the chief executive officer and also the chief energy officer of Jewish National Fund, Russell Robinson. Russell is a native Texan, a personal friend of the Hersh and Lipsitz families, and a protege of Dr. Hersh. So Russell, the floor is yours. And after, we're going to launch straight into a short video presentation.
Thank you, Reagan, and thank you all for joining today, for giving us the opportunity to honoring you and your families, to giving us the opportunity to show you in this virtual world what you have done in just this one project. But don't look at it as a building and don't look at it as a project. Look at the rippling effect that you have done for a group of people, that you have done to build up Israel, that you have done to build up the Jews here in the United States. And if you just take the video that you're going to get from all of these people that I'm looking across at the gallery view of, from, as Reagan said, from Israel to Waco to Florida and New York, from everywhere, I want you to think about where it all comes. It comes from Waco, Texas. Waco, Texas is a place in which Stan Hersh, from Boston to Cleveland and then to Waco, comes, and Florence and him begin their business practice, starting their lives and the opportunity to build a business, but at the same exact time. And for especially, I'm sorry to the younger people, remember this. The choice to come from Boston to Cleveland to Waco to start a business must have been a tremendous amount of pressure. But at the same exact moment, Florence and Stanley said, we're going to build a Jewish community. We're not going to look at it as an oy vey. We're looking at it as, what can we build? And the foundation of that Jewish community that is there today is from the two of them starting their family, starting their work, but starting to build the Jewish community, not just for themselves, for their children, for the grandchildren, for the children yet unborn. That is the dedication to the continuity of our Jewish people. Stan was, as Reagan said, somebody, a protege, a hero, somebody who I spoke to almost every week because of his words, because if you felt down, after he would slap you a little bit, he would make you feel great. If you felt a little too proud of yourself, he made sure you remembered who you are and what it's all about. And Florence, the site of You in the Kitchen is a site that anybody who comes to Waco, you could talk about the people going to the Magnolia, a place where the Fixer Upper is famous for. The greatest famous place in Waco, Texas is your kitchen, your hospitality, and your love. And Melvin, I had the opportunity to come to Waco and to meet you. And I found at that meeting that what would Russell Robinson and Melvin Lipsitz have in common? Well, Melvin's family came from Alsace-Lorraine, and my family came from Alsace-Lorraine. So I'm convinced, Uncle Melvin, that we're related. And from there, you got to imagine, again, a family who has roots also in Houston and San Antonio, but I believe it was 1865, started their business in Waco, Texas, a modest business that is now built to a very big steel empire, to a recycling empire, to a place in which he is known throughout the community and he is known throughout the country. As that if you want to go and get something done, call on Melvin, and he will make it happen. And throughout Waco, you will find his and your family, the Lipsitz name, everywhere. And when you're sitting at dinner with Florence and Melvin, and I'm there to explain the Jewish National Fund and other things that we have done, and at the same time, we started talking about the Special and Uniform Project, a project that, for those who don't know, you'll hear more about. 401 people with special needs in Israel serve in the Israel Defense Forces. Not as secondary soldiers, but soldiers with all soldiers, defending us as a Jewish people. And when we talked about in one base that there's a history with the Hersh family that is on that base because there's a whole building there that is the ready room for all the F-35s that are taken off. We talked about having a building for our soldiers in special uniform, and Florence said, well, I'm in. And Melvin, not even wanting the details, just said, if the Hersh family is in and I could have the Lipsitz family with us, I'm in. Now tell me about it. Because his dedication is the same. And his desire to build and his history with Stan and the Hersh family is the same. And to Melvin, when I started sending updates, I know every single time with my misspellings, Melvin, I apologize, sending it out to make sure all of his family knew and saw and felt what he felt and what he was seeing. And I'm going to tell you that we're going to go to Israel, all of us. We're not going to do this virtually only, but on a virtual way, I want you to see what you have accomplished. But I don't want to talk about it. Watch and see for yourself.
Welcome to Special in Uniform Tel Nof Air Force Base. Today we are here to celebrate the dedication of Special in Uniform Center. Thanks to the JNF and the generosity of the families Hersh and Lipsitz, we are dedicating a building in honor of Stanley Hersh. Shalom לכולם. שלום, בואו אליי, בואו. חן, איפה אתה? מה שלומכם? בסדר. Today we are here to dedicate this center of Special in Uniform.
אישנו במצוותיו וציוונו לקבוע מזוזה.
אמן.
חיילי הבסיס וחיילי גדולים במדים יוכלו ליהנות ולהתרווח ממועדון מושקע ומפנק. רוברט אינגרסול, פוליטיקאי האמריקאי, אמר, הנדיבות והנתינה הן היצירה הנעלה ביותר של רוח האדם. אין לנו מספיק מילים להביע את הערכתנו לעבודת הקודש שאתם עושים. בשם חיילי מערך ההחזקה בח"א 8 וחיילי גף אוהד, תודה מכל הלב ומאחלים בריאות טובה לכולם.
As you know, Special in Uniform integrates people with special needs into the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. Special in Uniform program is emphasizing each one's ability and helping him reach his potential and teaching him how to be as much independent as he can be, side by side with life skills in order for them to participate and integrate in the Israeli society.
We want to say thank you to all the people who made this possible, to the organization Special in Uniform, who are changing the lives of many special needs young people in this country, and especially to JNF.
Since the JNF partnered Special in Uniform, we started with 50 so long ago. But now I am proud to lead 500 participants in Special in Uniform program. Some of them are even an IDF soldiers, like all the others, and some of them serving in this base, proudly serving in this base. Now we are going to unveil the sign of the dedication. With gratitude and pride, special in uniform, Florence and Stanley, Zichrono Livracha, and Hersh family, Malvin Lipsitz Family Foundation from Texas. Thank you so much. תודה רבה. יחד, 1, 2, 3, ו...
We want to say thank you very much for your donate these facilities for the soldiers of Maintenance Squadron to honor Stanley Hersh. Appreciate it, and we hope to see you soon in Israel. You a special guest in the future.
For the soldiers in Tel Nof, our base is like our second home. In general, and especially in those trying times, we spend here much more time than we do anywhere else. And because of that, we need a place that we can truly say feels like home. And that is what you gave us. So thank you all so much for your donation. And thank you to JNF in particular. I can assure you that we will make good use of it.
Hi, I'm Russell Robinson, Chief Executive Officer of Jewish National Fund. Waco, Texas is situated on Interstate 30 between Dallas and Austin. You are all role models for us. Thank you again to the Lipsitz and Hersh families. God bless you. God bless the state of Israel. And God bless the United States of America.
In this special day of dedicating this center for people with special needs, for specially uniformed soldiers and the other soldiers, we are today lighting candle of Hanukkah. A bit of light can throw away a lot of darkness. So we are going today to lit the fourth candle of Hanukkah. So follow me ותחזרו אחריי. ברוך אתה אלוהינו מלך העולם קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של חנוכה. יפה, מעולה, ברוך אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. יפה. בוא תדליק איתי סשה. אוקיי. צור ישועתי לך נאה לשבח תיקון בטפי. So I would like to thank everyone for making their dream come true, our dream come true.
Thank you for your support to our program, and from Special Uniform, I sent for all of us, thank you.
And a big love.
Big love.
Hanukkah Sameach to all of you. After this clip, what can I say or what can I add? Again, I want to thank you so much for the generosity and the gift that you gave our soldiers in the Tel Nof base. So I cannot wait to really see and meet you in person and host you here. And I would like to thank you for your love for the state of Israel, for the JNF, for the soldiers of the IDF, and especially for Special in Uniform. And you built a home for so many. And in behalf of the soldiers of that base, of Tel Nof base, I can say 2 words. Thank you so much, and it's been 4 words. So anyhow, Hanukkah Sameach, and I'm speechless. And when I saw that clip, I see, and I just was in the base today, and I saw the mingling with the typical soldiers and Special in Uniform soldiers. and you can see a real inclusion. And when we are talking about inclusion, it is not just a phrase or just a word that's being said, it's making inclusion as a fact. You see the typical soldiers with the soldiers from special in uniform, and you really cannot differentiate between them. They are mingling together, they are doing so much together. So again, I'm speechless and really thank you for everything that you are doing for the state of Israel, for the IDF and the JNF and the state and the soldiers of special in uniform. תודה רבה and Chanukah Sameach.
Thank you, Tehran. At this time, I'd like to call on David Levy, who I understand is going to make a few remarks on behalf of the families. David, I just want to say that watching what your contributions personally to the state of Israel over the last few years has been inspiring. And I know that your entire family is proud of you. And so thank you for being here to represent your family.
Thank you, Reagan. Also, thank you to Tehran and to Russell and to the JNF staff for putting together a really inspiring video. It's an honor for me to speak on behalf of the Lipsitz family through the Melvin A. Lipsitz Family Foundation and my family, especially my grandmother, Florence, Mimi, and my grandfather, Stanley. Zichrono livracha. Growing up, my grandparents were very clear about their values. They didn't necessarily talk about them, but embodied the values of tzedakah, tikkun olam, and ahavat Yisrael, the love of Israel. We knew that Judaism was the framework of our world, which provided meaning and guidance. They passed these values on to my aunts and my mom, and on to us, their grandchildren. It is now my wife, Jessica, and my responsibility to pass them on to our daughters, their great-grandchildren. My grandparents' involvement in the Jewish National Fund provided the opportunity for these values to flourish. Our family has a long history with JNF, leadership roles, employment, participants on trips. I was fortunate enough to travel to Israel twice with my grandfather, and as donors. Thanks to Melvin Lipsitz and my grandmother and their donation to Special in Uniform, this legacy continues. As we celebrate Hanukkah, we can equate the miracles of the past with the miracle of what you, Tehran, achieved by the creation of Special in Uniform program. We are all touched by the mission of Special in Uniform, which welcomes those who may not otherwise be able to serve in the IDF, which is a crucial milestone to feel a part of and contribute to Israeli society. Tehran, your hard work and dedication made your dream a reality, and Melvin and my Mimi are privileged to further your dream. Their gift is another example of their values all wrapped into one. May we always remember and do right by your mission. We are all different, which is great because we are all unique. Without diversity, life would be very boring. Thank you.
Thank you, David. That was beautiful. Would anybody else like to say a few words? Hi, Debbie, go ahead. Just unmute yourself.
Okay. I know Russell referred to the Lipsitz family having been around in Waco since the 1800s, and I just wanted to emphasize their importance. We didn't come to Waco until the 1960s, and we're a link in a chain. Mom and Dad were both influenced very strongly by the Wolf and Silver families. And the Wolf and Silver families were probably newbies compared to the Lipsitz family. When you read the historic plaque in front of our synagogue and on the website, it says their however many great grandfathers were responsible for our shul being founded. So they were there in the very, very beginning. And I just wanted to emphasize that we're just newbies and they're the ones that started it all. And I guess it's, you know, we can't help but think about Lador Vidor from generation to generation. And we're all just links in the chain, and hopefully this will continue on for many, many generations, forever.
Amen. Anybody else have anything they'd like to say? Is that a hand raised, Ariel, or a no?
This is Cheryl. I have to recognize Marla's family too. I don't know what year your dad and David were in Waco too, but I remember hearing stories of dad coming and mom to Waco and meeting Archie and Shirley. And so they were founders of the Waco Jewish community as well. So there were a lot of people that were huge influencers back in the day that were really important to the community.
Thanks, Cheryl.
I'll say something. Another thing Pop always said is that after 2,000, 3,000 years, we finally have our land back. And I think it's special that have this opportunity for inclusion to bring all types of Jews together in Israel and all of us together to just put our name on Israel, and that we're committed to it, and that it'll be ours forever.
Beautiful. Melvin, can we coax you to say a couple of words about why this was important to you? Okay. Well, this has been a beautiful.
Now, hold on. I had to unmute.
Okay.
I'm pretty proud of being able to click the unmute.
Good. We can all hear you.
When I met Dr. Hersh and Florence, and over a period of time, when you get visits from Dr. Hersh, it took some convincing, but I will say the legacy that he instilled in many people, especially me, how I feel it, was wonderful. And to see some results today as to how he inspired all of us, and me and my family particularly, to come to some fruition to what we have seen today is wonderful and gratifying. And as Debbie said, it is a link in the chain that continues. And we really appreciate everything GNF has done and everything that's happened at Telnoff Air Force Base and the Special in Uniform program. And we love all of you for your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Melvin. Wow. This has been just a very special time together. Again, we've recorded this program, and I'm so glad, Jessica and David, that your daughters will be able to watch this in a few years and get to know their great-grandfather and the special families that they are a part of, along with all of their cousins to be. Hi, Marla, would you like to say something?
I would really like to say something, but I'm just going to cry, so I'm going to let my husband speak.
Hi, everybody. I just, as an Israeli, I think it's important to say how amazing this whole program is, and how amazing, the ripple effect that was spoken about is so important. It's important to make a statement and say that the Army is really important, not just for the people that can excel and reach the excellent units and become pilots, etc., but it's important for the whole society of Israel. And in fact, this statement that you're making by supporting this program is emphasizing the fact that the Army is an important leveler in Israeli society. And it's an important, it kind of gives inspiration to those that may otherwise choose not to serve in the Army, who are capable of serving in the Army. I work in a high school with children at risk in Israel, and some of them just choose out of their own choice not to serve in the army. And this statement saying that even people that are challenged in some ways are making the effort, and their families and people abroad are making the effort for them to serve in the army is a very powerful statement indeed. Thank you.
Thanks, Maurice.
Reagan, if I say something, this is Yossi Kana. I just feel it's so bashert that we are doing this today in Hanukkah, because we just said about Ledor Vador, the chain, but the chain is much longer. Think about the Maccabees 2,000 years ago and the modern day Maccabee of the soldiers of the IDF, and how you in Akko connect the chain. It's so beautiful. It means so much to all Am Israel. So thank you very much from all of us here.
Right. Florence, would you like to wrap us up?
Okay.
I'm very proud of my Jewish people that living in the world that we live in today has not rubbed off on a lot of us. We still want to be Jewish, and we want to say Hag Sameach, and we want to associate with our friends and our wonderful rabbi that we have. And I think that's a blessing. Hag Sameach to everyone.
Chag Sameach, Am Yisrael Chai.
Amen.
And Florence would also like to add that if anyone else would like one of the plaques honoring my father, she has a whole drawer full of them.
Right.
And I will just say that I want to thank everybody for making this possible for all of us to watch and see where the money actually goes, and for motivating me to make it through another year of schnorring from people so I can send the money to Israel. I do appreciate it, and I found this very motivational, and Russell and Reagan and everybody, thank you for all the hard work. I know that it wasn't easy, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We thank all of you, and really a Hag Sameach to everybody. Do I see Cheryl looking here? Cheryl getting close to her mic there? No? You're just kind of click off, Cheryl? Oh, okay, I just saw you. I just want to tell you your visual here.
I was reading, somebody wrote in the chat, so I have to get close to see it.
Okay. All right. Thank you all very, very much. Hag Sameach. Happy New Year. Stay safe. Stay healthy. God bless you. And Florence and Melvin, love.
Thank you very much.
Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Melvin.
So special.
Were you watching on something else?
Especially the girls are very motivated.
I
Gotta
just
go
want to
get
tell
their
you that
pushkis.
Were they bribed? They just asked for presents.
when Reagan said when they get older, I think that in about 2 months they're going to be running their own Zoom calls. So I don't.
No.
Yes.
Open presents. They're very motivated by that right now. Can you say hi to Russell?
Yeah, but can you open it in front? Hi, can you open it in front of us so we can see?
Yeah, show him what Bubby brought you.
If you like it, I bought it for you.
That's so funny. Let's put it on.
What do you have, girl?
Okay, show them.
Oh,
okay.
You got a mask?
Turn around.
Nothing like a kosher gift there.
This is a froggy. Come here. Okay.
Variety of animals in
Another present. Oh. Another
Hey,
present.
open another
Yeah,
one.
go ahead, open up all of them. This